Matasat, greetings to you, Highlight. Welcome to my channel. You have landed with me today, because today you can learn an important lesson for the Golden Age. It is important to accept different perspectives, and that's why you have come to me today. One of the purposes of this message is to prepare you for the Golden Age, for the new Earth. It is to clear up any disagreements or misunderstandings. This message that you are about to hear and see is so important for all of humanity. And as everything begins with each individual, and therefore with you first, you can take away impressions today for the benefit of all. I ask you to really listen to this message to the end, as it can bring a lot of healing even though you may not be aware of it yet. As you listen to this message, this urgent message, you are indirectly doing light work, connecting worlds, attracting intergalactic peace, mutual respect in dealing with other species, and you are disempowering the dark side and forcing it to give up even faster. We all want to live in peace and harmony. We can hardly wait, and yet it all depends on each individual. And so I ask you, heart to heart, listen to this message. It changes the world. It changes the way you perceive it. Thank you. If you agree to listen to what I tell you, I really ask you to listen to this message to the end. It is a message from the luminous, divine, ascended side. So please don't be fooled. The message has a point that will only be revealed when the message is almost over. So, if you click away from my post too soon, you may misunderstand this immensely important message. Therefore, I ask you once again from heart to heart to listen to this message in one session. It changes your perspective, it makes you grow spiritually, and it makes you realize that not everything is always as we see it with our human eyes, because some things can be an illusion. So please make sure you listen to the end, otherwise you might misunderstand the message. And now let's start from the beginning so that you can understand what we are talking about today. We begin with an image that I have borrowed from Pixabay. Please look at it for a while. Nothing can happen to you. You are completely protected, and I only have contributions from the light side. Please take a look at this image. What do you see when you look at the picture? Please think about it for a while. I will then show you a neutral background so that you are no longer influenced by your thoughts. Yes, I'm talking about your thoughts or imprinted or coded opinions. You are biased, so I'm going to show you a neutral picture. Now please forget the image you saw at the beginning and concentrate on my words. Please let us start again so that you can understand. I am Bella Isis Mitchell, emissary of the Galactic Federation and not of this world myself. My origins are in the Pleiades. I have a Pleiadian commander above me for my Earth missions, but our lightship is not of the Galactic Federation. I travel intergalactically on many missions. Today there is an explanation that should and can bring healing. If you don't know me, let me tell you a little about myself so that you can understand what is about to happen to you. I myself was awakened from my blindness by aliens in 2021 and became aware of my own extraterrestrial origins. You won't believe this, but my first alien contact was not with my Pleiadian family, but with reptilians. After initial communication problems, the reptilians have actually become my favorite species. I am in contact with reptilians who come from an ascended planet. Their planetary soul is absolutely peaceful, just as the civilization is peace-loving. There is harmony and kindness and understanding between these creatures, but their behavior is similar to that of humans. You are welcome to read about their behavior in my book series, which I offer on Amazon and also on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. There are now 5 books in the series, and volume 6 is currently being translated from German into English. It will be published this year. I already live with and among extraterrestrials and receive visitors every day. One of them is even my lover. I already live among aliens in the Golden Age, and I will take you there. I will show you what it's like to live in the Golden Age. It is important to know that our future will be coexistence with extraterrestrial species, so it is important to understand the basics. As an emissary of the Pleiadian civilization, I educate many people in advance until trust is established and the beings can openly show themselves on the planet. However, we have heard more negative or horror stories about certain species. This is where I come in. I'm going to show you the picture again so that you can focus on it, and then I will give you the solution to our experiment. Most of the audience will recognize an aggressive or warlike species in the picture. Why is that? Because that's what we've been trained to do. We have been brought up with fear. What if I told you that these negative emotions or states of fear make the dark side aesthetic and that they feed on these states? What if I told you that the other side craves your fears? They are greedy for fear, horror, and torment. It's good for the warlike species to be able to control us with fear. It is no secret that there are vicious, warlike species among us and on our planet, even ruling us from behind the scenes, or rather from the underground. These beings are of a vile and deeply questionable nature, for unfortunately they have no good intentions for us. But what if I told you that the previous image was an illusion and that you had simply misunderstood it? Intergalactic communication or understanding of other cosmic individuals is an art, and I teach people how to deal with extraterrestrial civilizations. I do this through my YouTube channel and through my book series. The book series describes in great detail the experiences I have had in dealing with other species, and I share these experiences with you. These facts are really important to know because we are in the middle of a journey into a new world that already exists. If you are familiar with my channel, you will have noticed that I don't do ordinary channelings and that you can experience vivid adventures when you listen to my messages, at least most of the time. Earlier, you were massively deceived by the image of a being who is of the light side. I deliberately orchestrated this deception to draw your attention to important matters. I'm going to show you the picture again and tell you about it. I found the artwork on Pixabay, a platform where artists offer their images for free use, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for allowing me to borrow this artwork. I know several creatures that resemble the image, so I almost jumped for joy when I discovered it. When I look at it, I see the athletic build of my beloved Aurelius, although he has a bit more muscles. However, his scales are delicate and smooth, and the color is also different. The chest scales are more like those of a snake, while the other scales are smaller and more rounded. I have described it in more detail in one of my books, but I also know a creature that introduced itself in a post. It is called 4 Aliens in the Bedroom. Norbus, my galactic friend and reptilian hybrid, does indeed have a similar body structure and scales. It looks even more like him than Aurelius, but the face in the picture is more like that of my lover Aurelius, while Norbus' face has crocodile-like features. However, his snout is not as long as a crocodile's, but neither has ears. They don't need any. Personally, I don't know any reptilians that have ears, but maybe there are some. I will meet enough beings to solve this mystery. Aurelius has a rather smooth head in terms of scales, as does Norbus, who has crocodile scales or armor. I have now informed you that very dear friends or companions of mine look similar, so you are welcome to let your fears or shyness dissolve into curiosity and understanding. Yes, reptilians look the way they look, and we look the way we look. Our way of experiencing is different, and so are the conditions on our planet. In one of my books, Norbus even talks a little about his planet while sitting in my living room watching me eat. What if I told you that I was traveling in Vienna with beings that look like the picture? This is normal and will continue to be normal in the future. They just disguised themselves so that people couldn't see them. What distinguishes us from my reptilian friends? The only thing that distinguishes us is the outside. Inside we all have hearts, including my friends, because they are in higher consciousness and connected to the divine source. They also have feelings. They are the good guys, if you like, coming from the bright side. Now, if you look at the picture more closely, with all the things you've heard me say, it takes the fear factor out of the picture. What is the reptilian doing in the picture? Everyone can interpret that for themselves. From my perspective, he is just holding his head awkwardly, making him appear fierce. But we must remember that reptilians are physically incapable of laughing. When they open their mouth and roar with laughter, it's really obvious. I've seen it several times because they are really funny and very cool, our young people would say. But smiling is difficult. Have you ever seen a monitor lizard or a lizard smile? A crocodile? Oh, no, that's difficult, isn't it? Sometimes it is possible. Now look at the picture. The creature is holding its head awkwardly. It is also normal for reptilians to fold their arms. I'm sure you do this yourself several times a day. As the creature has lowered his head, his eyes appear deeper in their sockets, but the bulge above the eyes also emphasizes the situation unfavorably. Combined with the reptilian's posture, we now have a dilemma, which is actually a deception that you should be aware of. What our reptilian is actually doing in the picture, positioning himself like that, is actually completely meaningless. What is important is that he did it, because in this way I was able to show you an illusion that gives you a completely new perspective on other species. I really talk a lot about reptilians and have been able to dispel a lot of collective fears. Speaking of fears, the other side is still there, of course. Please be absolutely watchful. You can listen to this message as often as you like, under the highest protection of the reptilians. I myself am protected in this incarnation and in my intergalactic missions by an Egyptian god who is with me almost constantly, and also by a powerful reptilian who is my teacher and mentor, but also my protector. And unfortunately, I have to tell you that the other side and the dark forces are not very enthusiastic about this contribution, for this contribution is making a difference, as are the efforts of many other people with other missions on Earth. I felt telepathically through my reptilian guardian that my plan quickly attracted the dark forces, for they cannot tolerate reptilians no longer being feared. There are also dark creatures who wish to live out lower needs. They are masters of disguise and deception. Today we have exposed a disguise, albeit on a completely different side and in a different way. This post brings so much healing that some peace-loving reptilians had to move out to keep the other side in check. It has to be done. I need and I want to talk about my friends, because it is wrong that they are all assigned to the dark side. It is wrong and it must be changed. And the good thing is that with this fear removed, the other side is so weakened. I find it very hard to breathe. I feel the resistance, but I am protected. The reptilians are lovingly watching over me. We speak for the truth, for in the future reptilians and humans will walk hand in hand. It is necessary to transform the fears with the help of this message. And ultimately, we have taken so much power away from the dark force that they must retreat weaker. Dear people, take the hands of the reptilians and help to purge the dark creatures from the earth. The peace-loving reptilians are with us. They are here for us. Take the hand of the reptilians and walk with them to a new world. And now comes what is always typical and normal for my messages, for I am already living on the new earth, and I will take you with me. So, when I say that you are welcome to accept the hand of the reptilians, please extend your hand now, if you dare, or if you are already ready. Be brave and reach out to the peace-loving species and the spirit of peace. Trust can be built. I'm working on it. Disempower the dark side by placing a little trust in the light side. Share this message with as many loving people as you can. I can assure you that this is the highest light work, as through contact or insight, transformation can occur in the collective. Your insight after the message brings salvation on the larger scale, Anasha. Let's walk together into a new future, and it is already here. I told you that in the golden age, reptilians and humans would walk hand in hand. Now, if you are ready, reach out and offer your hand to a reptilian. If you don't want to, that's fine. No one is being judged or forced to do anything they don't want to. The reality is that we are already walking hand in hand with the reptilians. And Anasha, my light is with you, with courage and love in my heart. Yours, Bella Isis.